or if you want to share this with anyone. And so that's all I had.
Okay. Couple of Post Independent and Chamber of Commerce notes before we get started with this. As a reminder, if you're a restaurant and you are taking pickup or even opening up, if you want to email Angie to let people know about those aspects, and we can get it both digitally as well as in our paper. The Bank of Colorado is sponsoring the restaurant side of it. And then if you're a retail store and you're open for business, either online only, or if you are opening up, you can email email to us and let us know so we can get that onto our platform as well, which is also in paper and on our website as well. So without further ado, we will go ahead and is everyone only seeing Lauren's image right now?
I can't see anything but the library logo.
Okay, now I can see you. Okay, perfect. All right, so welcome. I am Jerry Rahal. I am the publisher and ad director of the Post Independent. We're excited to have you here today. The session is developing a rebound strategy. There's a lot to consider, and that's very true. We have a lot going on right now with the COVID and the reopening, and how do we handle this? This is an unprecedented event in our times, and so how can we ensure that we're all successful in this process and go through that? I'm excited to have Bryna Sisk join us. Kind of the background is she's got an MBA in business development and strategist. I've known Bryna for a number of years and really got to know her a lot better over the last 2 years. She is full of energy and full of insight, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy listening to her. Like, she always, every time I get off a call with her, I'm super motivated. And so she's just really got a way to present the information to help you, but also get you motivated as well. Now, Bryna, I did tell you, like, if anyone's been on these sessions before, part of my introduction is not the typical, you blah, blah, blah about your career. I have a couple questions for you so people get to know you better. Tell me, and I've not asked, you don't even know what these questions are yet, which is normally I give the panelists a fair warning. What is your spirit animal and why?
So my spirit animal is a bear, believe it or not. And why is it a bear? I have spent so many years, months, weeks, time in the backcountry. My favorite day is a backpack or a mountain bike in the middle of nowhere and a tent and fresh air. And I have 1,000 bear interactions. And when I did the, you take a little quiz, when it came up that it was a bear, I was not surprised at all, because I've seen so many bears. I had a day, I took a hike on our property at 3 o'clock on an afternoon a couple falls ago. And in one afternoon, I saw 4 different bears. And that's when it all kind of came full circle. Like, you just connect with something, and yeah, that's me. The mama bear with a pot of honey between its legs. Yes, please.
Nice, nice. What is a job that you've had that people would be surprised to know?
My very first real job in life was at the Dairy Queen in my hometown, which is Plattsmouth, Nebraska. Plattsmouth, Nebraska is just south of Offutt Air Force Base, which is Strategic Air Command. So when 9/11 happened and George Bush left the scene of the crime, if you will, he went to Strategic Air Command. I grew up right there. I have to say, though, Jerry, now that I say it out loud, I worked at the Dairy Queen and gained 15 pounds. It was pretty fun because I could eat whatever I wanted to. My grandmother owned the Dairy Queen before I worked there, and I worked for the woman who bought it from her. My very, very first job, I delivered newspapers.
Nice.
I was 5 years old, and my brother really used me as slave labor. I really delivered my brother's paper out.
I actually did the same thing, and that's how I learned about contract labor law. So, and finally, if people are watching today, what is one thing that you hope they'll take away from this session today?
That's a really good question. The one takeaway I think from today is being a smart business owner means developing a strategy that makes sense to not only the business owner, but that person's employees and customer or consumer base. And I think the biggest takeaway from today would be hope's not a strategy. And developing a strategy and then executing it will give you some control over an environment that you really probably feel like you have very little control over. And there's a lot of comfort in being able to manage through crisis.
Mhm.
And that's the takeaway from today: being smart, developing a strategy, and then managing through the crisis. People can actually come out on top of this. And that's the takeaway.
Cool. So one little thing, if you have a question during this time frame in attendance, just put in the chat function. I'll be monitoring that, and I'll let Bryna know, and then I'll be interjecting from time to time with some questions that I think people may want to know. But without further ado, Bryna Sisk.
Hey, yay. Well, that was fun. I love those kind of off the cuff questions. We don't get those enough. I feel like I'm in a Miss America pageant where you have to answer, how are you going to solve world hunger or something like that? Anyway, welcome everyone. I'm Bren. I am so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to talk about turnaround strategies because it is really my area of expertise and what I love more than anything. I mean, I'm a marketing geek. That's at the end of the day. If Jerry asked me, how do you define yourself? That's what it would be. I'm a geek when it comes to marketing. I want to touch marketing, smell it, feel it, taste it. What does it look like? How does it feel? What does the consumer look like? What's the psychology of your consumer? These are all things that you need to be thinking about when you're looking at the COVID pandemic. We have to be careful with our terminology. Is it a pandemic? Is it a crisis? Is it not real? I mean, there are those arguments everywhere, and how to jumpstart the economy and what your local economy looks like. So thank you for taking time to chat with me. And what I want you to know too is that this whole slide deck is going to be available to you, so you don't have to furiously take notes and try to keep up. And in addition to that, at the end of the slide deck is my contact information. So if you have any questions, literally what I do all day long right now is try to help and direct our customers, our clients, our advertisers, and not only that, our marketing specialists in how do we bridge the gap between a standstill economy and then a robust economy, and where is the middle ground? How do we get around that? So please don't feel like you can't reach out to me directly. I'm here to help, and I would love to help you, and it won't cost you a penny. So that's exciting. All right, let's get down to business here. And I'm going to talk really fast. Again, the slide deck will be available to you. And I realize I'm a fast talker. Jerry knows that too, but it's good information, and I want to get through all of it in a short amount of time because I realize you don't have a lot of bandwidth for this stuff. We are all on Zoom meetings all day long. All right, death toll in the US, it's a quarter of what it is in the world. So yeah, stuff's really hitting the fan around here. And what do we do with that? Most of our businesses are shuttered. This week in Colorado, I'm in Wyoming today, and it feels like business as usual in Wyoming, but every state is kind of doing something differently. And my home base is Colorado, which I know yours is too. So I'm pretty familiar with what's going on there. Things are opening back up. My hairdresser told me she has 80 clients that she's trying to get on the books. You can actually go in and get your hair cut and get your nails done and things like that. So that's exciting that things are kind of coming around, but we don't have a crystal ball, and we don't know how to jumpstart the economy, and nobody knows what's about to happen. So what's really interesting in Colorado is while things might be opening up, and in Wyoming as well, if you have a supply chain in a market like Chicago or New York City, you're not getting materials that you need to be able to rebound. So there are a lot of things to consider there as well. Optimistically, we're looking at probably months, if not a year, before business goes back to usual. So what do we do in the meantime? You have to have a turnaround strategy. You have to have a rebound strategy. What's the difference between a turnaround strategy and a rebound strategy? Rebound strategies are typically aligned with economic or political downturns or socioeconomic downturns. A turnaround strategy is typically a strategy that you develop if your company is in the gutter for internal reasons that have not a lot to do with what's external. So you're going to hear both of those things. And a lot of times people use them synonymously, but they're not. Rebound strategy is really the term that you're looking for. So how do you manage a turnaround management? There I go back to turnaround, but it is turnaround and rebound at the same time. Really, there's three key components to that, and it is time, money, investment, and people. Time, money, people. But guess what? that's business as usual in any day, on any scope, in any day when you unlock your door and you open up for business. If you're a service oriented business, or if you're retail, or if you're a restaurant, it's all the same thing. I need time, money, and people. And it goes back to that. And that's really the basis for how to develop this rebound strategy. COVID doesn't mean that we're not going to do business. It just means that we're going to do business differently. So there's some things that you need to be asking yourself. Number one, and this is a hard question, and not open for discussion really right now, but it's food for thought. Are you in a position where you're actually going to survive this? Do you have the finances and the capital and the backing to make sure that you can keep your door open? If the answer is no, you need to immediately start looking at how can you sell out of where you're at right now and land on your feet, because so many business owners who are going to need to sell out, it's scary, but it's true. They're just going to shutter their doors and be done with it. And I don't want that for anybody that I know or anybody that I work with. And instead, if you have to sell out, you need to get out from under your debt, and you need to get out from under your, if you have merchandise sitting on the floor, if you need to get out from under your fully renovated rental space that you probably invested a lot of money in, you need to talk to me about that as well, because I can help you there too. But selling is the best option. Closing your door and walking away with a mountain of debt is not. All right, so that's number one. How can I fare? Can I hang on 2 or 3 more months? Did I get the PPP government handout? Can I make that work in my best interest? Can I make sure that I qualify for the 0 return? And there are requirements, as you all know, around that. So if you have the capital to weather the storm, what do you need to do to pivot? And that's really the focus of this conversation. How do I pivot? How do I diversify? And how do I leverage my resources, my people, and my products so that I can continue to do business? Is there a way to diversify, and how does that look? First and foremost, strong are going to survive. And if you're on this call today, it probably tells me that you're one of them. So that's a great place to start. Number 2, look at your core product. Look at your processes. I've had so many conversations over the last 4 weeks with people who say, if you can't touch, see, and feel my product, I can't sell it to you. That's not true. I mean, look at e-commerce. Amazon does business without ever touching, seeing, or feeling a product, and they are one of the big ones. So if you're in the mindset that if somebody doesn't walk through your storefront, you're not going to be able to sell something, I'm here to tell you, yes, you are. You just need to be innovative and think about things differently. If you have short-term financing or the backing of your financial institution, especially if you have a local financial institution or a line of credit, you're going to be just fine. That means that you're in good shape. If you had to lay off your staff or they went home for mud season, which many people did in our resort communities, how are you going to get them back? Can they afford to come back? And if they can't, who's going to fill in the blanks? Because you are not a one-man band, and you don't want to be a one-man band. You have to figure out, how do I leverage my people? If I can't get them back, where am I going to get new people? Employees are going to be pivotal in this time. All right, there are 3 types of business owners, and I hope you are the middle one. B is always the answer, right, Jerry? If it's A, B, or C, pick B. So the first type of business owner is slam on the brakes. This person is completely emotional. I'm scared to death. My grandmother got COVID. Thank the Lord she survived. My cousins have it. I'm scared to death. I don't want Australians coming through my door and spreading the germs. Okay, that's emotional. And if you're that person, you need to call me directly, because I'll talk you off the ledge. Number 2, the wait and see. I think this is where most of us are right now. Wait and see. We don't know what the economy is going to do, but we're hopeful. Hope's not a strategy, but we are hopeful. Things are going to get better. And the last type of business owner is carpe diem, man. Seize the day. It's usually driven by ego, and that's all right, because you kind of have to have a little bit of ego to do business in times like these. But let's be logical about that too. When times are good, you should advertise. When times are bad, you must advertise. And it's scary because most people cut their marketing budgets first. If you research any company from the last recession or recessions prior, the way they landed on their feet was fine-tune your product, fine-tune your processes, and double down on your marketing. And look, yeah, am I a marketing person? I definitely am. Do I love to spend money on marketing? No question about it. But I'm also a very, very firm believer in ROI marketing. And if you don't see the return on your investment, you're doing things wrong. And again, you need to probably pick up the phone and call me, and I'm going to direct you to the right people who meet you in the right shape. But what happens is, okay, I'm a private pilot. I fly airplanes, and it's the pull up strategy that kills people. And I'm going to use that analogy here, because when you're in bad weather and things don't look good and you're in the airplane, what do you want to do? Natural reaction is to pull back on the yoke, to pull up on the yoke. Pulling back on the yoke and pulling up on the yoke is going to kill you. It's going to stall the airplane and you're going to crash into the side of a mountain. Instead, what you need to do is lean in, push forward, pick up airspeed, watch your instruments, and use your brain. This is simple stuff, guys, but natural reaction is to pull back. I want you to think counterintuitively, lean in, push forward, and pick up airspeed. That's what marketing is all about. Look at your product. I'm going to say this so many times right now. Product, processes, and marketing. Those are the three things that are going to get you in glide speed, and you're not going to crash into the side of the mountain, especially if I'm sitting in the right seat with you. All right, what do you do? How do I define a strategic approach? This outline is coming to you. I'm going to just touch on a few things on it, but this is what you need to be looking at. You've got to evaluate, and I just said that. Product, people, capital. How can I gain market share? How can I capture more customers or consumers? Sadly, as businesses around you go out of business, that's opportunity. So what you need to be thinking about is, if I'm going to stay in business and I'm going to weather this storm, how am I going to capture additional people? How am I going to capture additional consumers? And you're in the right place to do that. Market stabilization, nobody knows. We have no idea when it's going to stabilize. Hope's not a strategy, but again, we have our fingers crossed that in the next couple of months, hopefully by August, we're all back to normal. We'll see. Now, this is the time, because you have extra time on your hands. And when you have extra time on your hands, it's easy to waste it. Let's not waste time right now. Instead, let's really lean in and push forward. Let's gain airspeed. Let's do that together. The way that you do that is you reevaluate your mission, vision, values. Who are we? What do we do? And who do we do it for? And this probably looks really different today than it looked, I don't know, let's just say 3 months ago. Who are we? What do we do? And who do we do it for? May look very different today. And if you take a step back and try to not think narrowly, but think broadly, you might realize who you are, what you do, and who you do it for might have looked like visitors prior to this. Now it looks intensely local, because we just don't have those visitors anymore. So if who we are, what we do, and what we do it for is intensely local, it just may change the conversation for you. So evaluate that, take a look at it. And if you need me to guide you through it, give me a call. Jerry's got great people that can help you too, and he's right there locally. I'm in Steamboat Springs. It's no big deal for me to pop down to. Employee retention or reemployment. Where are you at with that? Take a look at it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I think you get it. Use your resources. You've got marketing experts right there in Glenwood Springs who can do exactly for you what I'm doing right now. It doesn't cost you a penny to have a conversation. It doesn't cost you a penny to develop a strategy. I urge you to do that. Here we go. Strategic approach continued. Now you need to ask yourself, is my process outdated because of COVID and the way that the world is changing? If you're not focused on digital, you have problems. I don't care if you're a restaurant, a service provider, or a retail outlet. You have to be focused on digital and how to reach people digitally. Never before have more Americans, let's just say Coloradoans or folks in the Glenwood Springs area, been online like they are right now. So if you don't have a digital approach to solving your problems, moving inventory, or selling whatever service that you offer, you need to be calling us. You need to talk to us, because the digital approach is affordable and it reaches people that are a very targeted segment of your core consumers. So let us help you with that. Tracking new metrics. Metrics are going to look different today than they ever did before. And what I like to say to my customers is this: how many widgets do you have to sell today to be able to remain in business? What is that number? And let's back into that and let's develop an approach that really makes sense and ROIs. How many widgets, how many consumers, how many people do I have to reach every single day with my messaging my offering to be able to sell 2 widgets every day and keep my door open, or keep my door closed but move to a fully digital or virtual environment? Again, all food for thought. And I realize I'm throwing a lot at you guys right now. Again, offline, one-on-one, we're here to help you. We're here to talk about it. So look at metrics differently and really drill down into what is the number of widgets I need to sell every single day, or maybe it's a week. Every week, how many customers do I have to reach? And of those customers, how many of those people am I going to close? And of those people that I close, what's the average purchase that they make with my establishment? What does that mean for me financially? How many employees can I hire? Can I keep the lights on? Will it pay the water bill? You get my drift. Become more and more digital. Everything is going to be digital, and you have to have a social aspect when it comes to digital, and then you have to have a direct marketing aspect. If you're not number one when you Google your industry or your business in your market, we need to talk. If you're not using email marketing, we need to talk. If you're not having a strong social presence in a social campaign, probably ought to talk there too. I mean, if your nephew is running your social media campaigns, you might rethink that as well. Does this mean that you're going to have to spend an arm and a leg, or sever your left arm to keep your right arm alive? No, that's the other thing too. I think that over the years, people have thought that digital is really, really expensive, but it's not. Never before is it as affordable as it is right now. Keeping in mind, traditional marketing products like newspapers, they're not dead yet. And a large portion of your consumer base or your clientele is still picking that paper up every single day to see what's going on in town. Here's what I think has been super interesting to me through COVID. People really want to connect. They want to stay connected. And your local newspaper, your local media, we're all about. And that's why local newspapers have weathered the 2008-9 recession, and they're going to weather this one as well. Because if you don't have news and information, if you're not offering up content to your local readership, people aren't informed, and then stuff goes downhill really fast. So keep in touch with your traditional media, digital media, and social. You're going to be just fine. Here's the best thing I can tell you too. Look at the businesses that survived the 2008 recession post cereal. Domino's Pizza. Domino's is a great example of a company that really pivoted. They had a horrible product. We hit the recession. What did they do? They doubled down. They improved their product. They improved their customer service and delivery. And now what happens? You can get a hot COVID-free pizza on your doorstep. Or now I love too, like you see Little Caesars, you see all of these different food establishments where you literally drive up and you don't have to touch anybody or anything. You pull your box out of the little slot and off you go. It's awesome. All right. Now, what's next? You need to do a new SWOT analysis and a new PEST analysis. Your SWOT analysis needs probably be directed by somebody who has an unbiased relationship with you that can lead the conversation through the decision makers and frankly, the decision influencers in your organization. So again, I could spend a lot of time reading through this slide. I'm not going to. And if anybody has a question, I think they can probably chime in or do the chat thing. But SWOT analysis. What are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? This is going to look really different today than it looked a year ago, which is why I'm encouraging all my clients, my business customers, to take the time, step back from yourself, and reevaluate. Where are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? Those are 4 really key things. This is what it looks like. It's a nice little fun graphic that I just grabbed off the internet, but it'll help you. What do you do well? What are your goals? Who's going to take your market share away? That's your weaknesses. And what obstacles do you face? That's all pretty simple, and I think pretty self-explanatory. Have any of you done a PEST analysis? PEST is a little bit newer, also developed by Harvard Business School, but at the same time, really important, especially in times like this with COVID. Political, economic, social, and technological threats or environments that may hinder or help your advancement of your business and your bottom line. What are the political factors? I don't know. I mean, is Donald Trump going to get reelected? If he does, what does that mean? What do our taxes look like? I'm not sure. If somebody else gets elected, what does that look like for me? Economic factors. Is my door shuttered? If my door is shuttered and I can't let somebody come through it, I've got to find a new way to move merchandise. If you have end of winter season merchandise sitting behind your shuttered door, and you've got your shipments of spring and summer, they're probably sitting on your loading dock if you have one. You got to figure out how to move that. How are you going to move that inventory? And frankly, the wait and see, I call it the turtle. If you're going to turtle inside your shell, you're never going to make it. Instead, you got to pivot and figure out, how am I going to get that inventory off my floor and in the hands of the people that I know are my customers? Frankly, we're at home and we're not spending money. And that's pretty exciting. If I'm in the retail environment, I need to get in front of you. The other thing too, and especially with ladies, and ladies make 85% of all purchases in the household. I think you guys probably know that, but we really do. Ladies are thinking, I'm going to get out there and go back to work. I'm going to get to happy hour with my girlfriends and have dinner with my husband on Saturday night, date night, right? I got to get this hair fixed. I need some nails. I don't know, eyelashes. Not loving my wardrobe because I gained some weight. We all have, because we've been sitting at home. So you have an opportunity to reach out to people in a way that you haven't before, and they still want to feel good about themselves. So anything that has to do with, physical appearance is really going to move. And we've got all kinds of ways to do that. A Facebook live stream, trunk show, virtual trunk show. Yes.
You're going to come into this, but what are some unique ways that you've seen that businesses who have maybe a surplus of inventory but can't open, like what are some things that you've seen that businesses are doing that could help them move that inventory?
I'm so glad you asked that, Jerry, because I just absolutely love innovative, outside the box thinking when it comes to marketing. And frankly, social media is number one top priority when it comes to this. There's no reason you cannot be doing a Facebook live stream, reaching out to your customer base, and also piggybacking on top of a local media outlet that has a very large social media following. I'll take Steamboat Springs as an example, because that's my home base and I know it really well. We have 15,000 followers on Facebook, and we have various local retailers who are doing these quick hitting, fun Facebook Live trunk shows where they're showing their wares, they're showing their goods. They're also doing flash sales to get rid of inventory that's sitting on the floor. So you got to move out that winter stuff to make room for the spring stuff. And people still want to see it. So they advertise and promote that they're going to do a Facebook Live webcast or broadcast, if you will. Then we share it at the same time live on Steamboat Pilot and today's social media site, Facebook as well. So we've captured not only their consumer base, but people who probably aren't their customers yet because they're following us on social media. We put the two things together. Before we launch that, we send an email out to our entire readership that says, hey, Callie's Boutique, one of my favorite stores in Steamboat, Callie's Boutique, they're in Aspen as well, is doing a trunk show. They're 35% off their winter inventory and looking forward to spring. And it's the first look at spring inventory. And if you shop now, we're going to deliver it to your doorstep. So those are really fun things that people are doing. It's really exciting and it's really engaging. And I love that. I love that consumer engagement.
Have you heard of the honesty sales?
The honesty sales.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
This is where businesses are putting their stuff out in front of their area and putting a price tag on it, but also Venmo, where people can just come by and, the business is just asking people to be honest about how they're doing it. So there's no actual interaction. But
like
again,
an honor bar. It's an honor bar.
Yeah. And I think the point that whether you are utilizing, it's not enough, in my opinion, to, just do it and not market it somehow, whether that's, there's so many channels and whether it's the newspaper or the radio or whomever, but you got to, or even just boosting your post on social media. Because the honesty one or the Facebook Live one, if you're not doing some additional marketing, that is a hope strategy. Like I'm hoping people will come to this thing as opposed to a strategy of hey, we're going to do this and we're going to invest in this process to ensure that we get the greatest return of investment as possible. And so I think I couldn't agree more. There's a lot of innovative ways that we're seeing people do, whether it's the webinars, the swap shops, there's ways for you as a business to continue operating in low cost, highly effective approaches, in my opinion.
I couldn't agree with you more, Jerry, and I'm glad that you brought that up. And look, I'm out here, you guys, all day long, every day, talking to business owners just like you. And the business owners that I have seen that I believe are going to not only weather the storm, but come out on top of it, they're not pushing back on anything new or different. They don't say, but, they don't say can't, they don't talk about hurdles. They're literally looking at new ways to do business that are different, and they're excited about it. They're like this, give it to me now, because I am willing to do anything I can to continue to earn a living and keep my business thriving and keep my employees eating. I mean, as business owners, I think the stress and the weight of just being able to feed our employees is insurmountable. And I tend to get a little emotional, so I don't want to get emotional today. It's insurmountable, and it's even for me in my role with my company and consulting. At the end of the day, I will not eat so that my people can, and I think there's a lot of altruistic behavior going on right now. But the business owners that I see who have really taken a leap forward are the ones who have said, I knew all along I was going to have to go 100% virtual or 100% digital. I knew I was going to have to do that. I just didn't know it was coming right now, but it's here. So let's get on that bandwagon and figure out how we're going to keep moving forward. It's the people who go like this to me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. When they say no, or I can't, or it's the big but. And I can see it coming on their faces when I'm talking to them. They're just waiting to say, but. And right then, in that one word, I know they're not going to leap forward. They might crawl on their hands and bloody knees. They might crawl along, but they're not going to stride forward. So I implore you guys to really be utilizing your resources. The resources at the Glenwood Springs Post Independent, Jerry's team, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to have a conversation about a rebound strategy. It doesn't cost you anything to have those guys help you. And Jerry is really, really good at what he does, as am I. And I work with Jerry almost every single day these days. So it's free to you. You need to utilize your resources. But if you call me up on the phone and your face makes the butt face, because I can see it coming. When I see the butt face coming, I'm just like, here it comes. When you use the butt face with me, then I know you're probably going to crawl on your bloody hands and knees rather than leap forward. But if you're ready to take a leap forward, we are innovative, out of the box thinkers, and we'll help you write that rebound strategy and implement it and execute it. And that's all it really takes. Yeah, again, those hard questions that I asked you at the very beginning of this conversation. Do I have the capital to stay alive?
And here I thought this entire time when you said butt face, you were just calling me that.
Butt face, so Jerry, I just coined a term that I think is really appropriate. Butt
there
face.
you go. Yeah. So one of the things that as I've talked to some people around here, and one of the things that, as Bryna said, I want to be clear on, like, and clearly, like, Bryna and I have a relationship. She was talking about our team, but there are a lot of people. This is a chamber post independent library event. There's a lot of businesses in this community that can help you. So I don't want, we're more, we're more interested in your success as a business overall than anything else. And so we have some great people on our team, but so do some other places. Our biggest thing is that there's advice out there for you to succeed. One of the things that as I talk to customers, I really encourage them, like, maybe they can't open up right now. And you touch on this a little bit, but this is a really great opportunity to show what I call thought leadership and inbound marketing, and even some altruistic stuff. People right now are at home and they're bored. And so if you can't open up, write a blog that has been not product pushing, but if I have my nurseries are open right now, but if I'm a nursery, I'm writing stuff about how to garden. In addition to my marketing. If I am a retail store that can open up at this particular time, if I'm a gym store, for example, and I'm waiting to hear back on my business plan. I'm writing stuff about like, how can different gyms do different things. Like, there's different philosophies on that. So this is a great opportunity for people to do inbound marketing concepts or thought leadership. And also, one of the things that we've worked with some clients that, that are more, that are not service-based per se, but more, like your insurance, like contests, like, people are at home and bored. Like we just did a photo contest with the Orchard, got huge response. Just people like shelter shots, like show us what you're doing at home. Right now we're doing we're partnering with the Bank of Colorado on a graduation thing. There's some altruistic ways that you can let the people know in the community that you care. And so just, I can't stress enough what Bryna said earlier. And I guess I'm not asking a question, Bryna. I'm just saying, like, no matter what, as a business, you can be doing something right now and I brought this up in a couple weeks ago, but there's plenty of studies that show you that the people who are active in downturns, through the downturn, both do fare better during the downturn and fare better after the downturn. So this is
There's
not
no question.
Yeah. So
There's no question. And one of the ideas that I love that we're doing in Summit County with a retailer there, she has two kind of high-end clothing stores. She's got, winter inventory sitting there that she wasn't able to move because all the ski resorts shut down in March. And now she has all this spring and summer inventory coming in as well. She's offering a $250 shopping spree. It's a promotion to get people to join into a Facebook Live trunk show with her. If you join in on the Facebook Live trunk show, you get entered to win a $250 shopping spree at her store. She's moving 100% digital. She's got to move inventory, and she's marketing her store locations and this trunk show and this promotion, the $250 shopping spree, in every resort market in Colorado, as well as Park City and Lake Tahoe. So she's really smart. She's reaching people at home where they're at. She's reaching women, again, who make 85% of all purchases. There's something in it for you. If you join in, you don't have to buy anything. Joining in means you're entered to win a $250 shopping spree online. She has a fantastic e-commerce website, and this is innovation. And she said to me the other day, I was on a Zoom call with her. Her name's Lua, and she was like, Bryna, I knew this was coming. I knew there was going to be a day when I needed to really invest all of my energy into my online e-commerce store and my whole entire social media and digital marketing platform. She just wasn't ready to do it now. But now she sees, I've got to forget about this storefront. The first thing she said to me, if you can't touch it, see it, feel it, you're not going to buy it. And I said, Lua, have you ever heard of QVC? Have you ever heard of QVC? We've all heard of QVC. My grandma was a QVC addict, for crying out loud. Regardless, do you ever touch, see, or feel anything on QVC? Hell no. You see it, and you see these ladies up there going on and on, droning on and on about, look at my earrings, they're so amazing. I'm like, gosh, and they just go with everything. You got to be a little bit larger than life, but you can sell it 100% in digital. And that's when I said that to her, I was like, Lua, this is QVC on steroids. And you know what she said to me? Yes. She didn't say but, she didn't say no, she didn't push back. She said, how do we get this done? And that's where you have to be right now.
So I want to, if people have questions, go ahead and type them in. I want to make two quick points that I think are really important, because you talked about the digital side of it. And there are tools out there, and it's one of the tools that we have that not only can we, it's called a foot attribution thing, that we can serve digital ads. And let's say you're curbside pickup only. Well, we can show you the people coming by who are served those ads. So you can really track your ROI. There's a lot of, and that's not just us, there's other places that do it. There's a lot of great ROI. And the other thing, and this one's going to probably be a little big headed when I say this, and it's not, get to the end of it for why I want to say this, but I work with two clients in similar fields. And I was on a call the other day with one of the clients, and they asked me, how come that client's doing all this innovative stuff? And the two clients interact very differently. One client, I go in, they tell me what they want to do. The other client comes in and says, Jerry, here's what we want to do. What do you think? And so I say that just to say that you guys all have your fields of expertise. There are, again, businesses here that marketing is their expertise. Think of them as a business partner, whether it's us or someone else. Like, we are in this field all day, every day. and we're chatting with people, and we're looking like, I have, Lisa, who's one of our marketing consultants on the line. Like, we talk about innovation all the time. Like, how can we help our customers succeed? They're not going to do it. And sometimes that's through a print thing. Sometimes it's through a digital, something that's totally outside the box. Just think about, it cannot hurt to just talk with someone in the field who can throw you ideas. And yeah, there's plenty of people that I work with. If you talk to people like at Big John's, we don't handle their social media, but I'm constantly giving them advice on social media. Like, because that's part of what they want to do. And I want to see them succeed. We're in it to help you guys. So I can't stress that enough, that if you can just reach out to, whether it's Bryna or if you have a relationship with somebody, reach out. And if I could encourage you to listen, because a lot of times that but is that they think they know a lot about marketing, and maybe you do, but like we are, like every day I get multiple emails about new technology and how we can help people. And so just that's kind of my thing. So any questions at this point? So far, nothing coming in. Questions? 5, 4, Bueller, 3.
Anyone, crickets. It's always crickets. And I get it, and that's why, hey, I'm in the chat here to all panelists. Here's my phone number. Don't call me for a date. Call me to help you. Kidding, not kidding. I'm totally joking. I know Jerry's like, oh my God, Bryna, I can't believe you just said that.
Oh, no, I can't believe you said that.
No, I'm here to help, and it's free. It's a free phone call, and I love nothing more than talking about marketing, and I love nothing more than helping our business owners succeed, mostly so that you can feed your family and your employees. I mean, it's kind of less about you and more about, the people who are dependent upon you. But I'm here to help, and Jerry's here to help, and anything you guys need. We're going to send out the slide deck so you can kind of go through the outline. If you want to do a SWOT or PEST analysis, if you want to really take a step back and say, where am I going to change? My mission, vision, values, products, and processes. Those 5 things: mission, vision, values, products, processes. Those are probably the 5 things that you need to reevaluate right now. I am here to help. And even if you use the butt face with me, and Jerry, I'm going to so use that in my call at 11. That's hysterical that I even came up with that. If you use the butt face with me, I'm all right with that because I like a challenge, but I think that we can really help you. And I'm so excited to just have the opportunity to chat with all of you today. We've been 45 minutes, so we're probably going to wind this down. Doesn't sound like anybody wants to ask a direct question, but I hope that you pick up the phone and give me a shout. Oh, here's my email too. I'm going to give you my email.
Lauren, do you have any final thoughts?
Okay.
Do not. I'm going to leave it to the professionals.
Jerry, high five.
High
I do
five.
this virtual high five. I literally do these calls all day long, every single day of my life. And what I love is the virtual high five. And when I do the virtual high five, everyone does the virtual high five back to me. Virtual high five, call me, and I am going to peace out. Okay?
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.